On today's episode of The Back of the Bird, we recap Pauly's fourth NLL championship. We talk about the game, the post-game, everything he needs to know, the emotions of going through it with his family watching, and some pretty funny stories from the entire Bandits playoff run. It's another season recap of sorts for us, and I think you're really going to enjoy it. This is episode 139 of The Back of the Bird. Let's get right into it.
Take your first ride and run, baby, run. If you want a sign, this is it. You're mad, you're magic, you're as hard as a gun. You wanna play with fire, consider this. You'll chase the thrill if it's worth the hit, 'cause you never ever wanna work for it. Take your first ride and run, baby, run. You got a spine of steel and a...
All right, we are back after a little bit of a break, a little bit of inconsistencies here. We had a lot happen. Episode 139, Back of the Bird. Brought to you by Cottage Springs. Get out there. It's springtime. Spring season is actually the summer season. So get out there. Go grab your 12 packs, your 24 packs, whatever you want. Get them. I actually tried out the Rocket Pump one and this at a wedding this past weekend, and that was a nice little addition. So maybe grab those, throw them in the freezer, have yourself a slushie. But we appreciate you guys hanging with us. We're back again. We've got a guy that's he's addicted to winning. So maybe we'll just chuck it right over to Pauly. How are we feeling, buddy?
Feeling good, boys. Yeah, I guess we're 2 or 3 weeks post win, but yeah, man, it's been good. Obviously, anytime you can win a championship, and then I guess you want to throw the three-peat in there, like there's that added pressure and all that stuff. So yeah, it all came out. So yeah, it was good, man. And then it goes to game 3 as well, so a little bit different than last year, like 2 close games, and then obviously the third game wasn't that close, but kind of comes down to the wire. So yeah, in all, man, it was awesome. Just pretty sweet, dude. Family was there. It's kind of like when you're getting to this age, turn 40 in September, you got the kids out there, you get the mom out there, you live it up. But no, it was good, man. Appreciate it, boys. It was a lot of fun. Kind of same program as last year as far as like post game and stuff. We did so we went to Cobblestone, but dude, this time around I don't remember, like last year was like packed, but dude, you couldn't move in this place. Like it was mayhem. So then off to the rooftop, and then down to the old Chipsy, and then at that point, people start dropping like flies. It's 3, 4, or 5 in the morning. So it was good though. It was good. Dory even came out. Dory came out till 1:30 in the morning.
Come on.
Yeah. 8 months or 7 months pregnant, came out to 1:30 in the morning. Just drinking everything in sight. Just going.
Your baby's gonna come out of the womb like singing the Bills shout song or something like that.
Yeah. Singing "Hey Baby." That song was on repeat 27 times. I know it probably makes your ears bleed, but the baby's gonna come out singing "Hey Baby." But no, it was good. Speaking of Cottage Springs, I went to the RBC. We'll get to Donnie, but we went to the RBC. But we went to the RBC on Saturday, and they were serving the wide mouths. That was the first time I had the wide mouth aluminums. Very good, but the wide mouths, I mean, you can't help but essentially chug them because they're
big gulps. Yeah.
So let's just say we went to the Sam Roberts concert after, and there was a security barrier that I eventually made my way to, which is kind of like separate, I guess, like the ground floor, and it was keeping me up for dear life. I was just hanging on the security rail, just hanging on for dear life. But no, it was good, man. Delicious stuff. And then we got a shout out to my older sister turning 50 this Sunday. So
Nice.
Gonna be bringing over a couple Cottage Springs Old Dangerous Dan Dawson's house, and we're gonna light it for a 50th birthday.
Hey, there's Mac chiming in. I love it, man. It all sounds. We'll get into kind of the details of the games and how that kind of all went, but yeah, maybe check in with Donnie, buddy. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm good. Played twice here in for the Cannons, and nice to get back on the field and get back with the boys and all that good stuff. And yeah, it's funny. I was thinking just as we were starting this, we did this a year ago, roughly a year ago, celebrating the first Buffalo championship for Pauly, and it's just funny like how far it's kind of come in that time span. Pauly won again. I was hurt at the time. Danny went on this, really nice thing about how at the end of a pro season, you never get that team back together again. That was right before I was on a team that folded. I've learned a lot of lessons in that time, and it's kind of cool to like mark this time again. And congrats again, Pauly. Like, what's your kind of championship ledger at now? You got 4 NLLs, right? And
yeah, 4 NLLs, 4 Manners, 2 Mintos, and a world indoor championship.
Fucking right, man. That's got to be right up there all time. Yeah, that's cool.
There was never a U Sports championship with Windsor.
Co-ed, soccer, Sunday night league.
Wow.
Goaltender led us to a championship. So I do have a co-ed.
Can't forget that.
And I was an intramural basketball all-star the one year.
Well, I'm sure.
We had an all-star game. It was unbelievable. It was sick.
Didn't you also? Sorry, go ahead.
There was fans. It was everything. It was unbelievable.
That's great.
Yeah.
Didn't you also introduce beer pong to Oakville? I'm sure you won a couple of those tournaments.
No, that was Gillies. Yeah, wasn't that Gillies?
Yeah,
you and Gillies both.
Yeah.
Oh man.
We were the godfathers of beer pong. No one's ever heard of it. So
it's funny. It's like based on every year we do this recap. Pauly's addicted to winning and having children because they just keep coming, man.
They just go hand in hand. I mean, every time Dory sees me lift that trophy, it's just automatic, panty dropper. And
How do you get pregnant while you're already pregnant? I'm not a science guy, but that might be tough. When's the due date on that again? That's got to be
like 5 weeks, man. July 30th. It's
crazy.
It actually, again, you guys will get there, but it seems like Coco's turned 3 at the end of this year. Max turned 4 next week, but it seems 15 years ago they were in diapers.
Yeah.
Like it's. I was telling, just like everyone that you talk to, like when you're having a third kid, I'm just like, me and Dory both were like, can't believe we're gonna have a newborn in like a month here. Like just
you're hitting the reset button again.
Yeah, it's nuts. Yeah, Coco's out of diapers now, so we're this, and like, I guess the biggest thing too is like, they're not self-sufficient, but they know what they want now. Like they're asking for things. They want this. Like you're having conversations with them. Yeah. Like you're going back to this blob of life, just being like, what do you need? I don't know what's going on. But yeah, we'll see, man. It's exciting though. It's gonna be good. Another baby girl added to the clan. Yeah. We found out one. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I was gonna say, it's because now my brother Dave's in the same boat. They just had their baby girl not long ago, so they're gonna be the same age growing up, which will be a nice little.
Oh no way! I didn't know he had a third one. That's awesome.
No, that's 2 for Dave.
Oh, that's
they had 7. Yeah. They had the old 7-year gap. So similar to what Dave and I have actually, but yeah, it's a crazy thing, man. Good for you guys. Are you going to be sticking around in that house, or are you going to be moving? Because I thought that was your kind of forever.
Yeah. Honestly, man, we got 4 bedrooms. Like it's old school. Like it's like it's an older house, right? So the bedrooms are small, but we do have 4. So we got Coco and Matt got their own room. We got rid of the guests and put the nursery back in the one. So yeah, I don't know. We'll be here till we get out of like the shit, and then kind of see how big these kids get, if there's enough room or not. But I don't know. I mean, it's funny though, because
We'll see if they're U-sized.
yeah,
Yeah.
well, the funny thing is like I grew up in a 3-bedroom town, and there was 4 of us.
Yeah.
So
So
did
it's
you
like,
and did you and Dangerous share a room, or how did it work?
no. So we had like like above ground basement that was like just essentially, like the room I'm in now, like
Yeah.
our TV room. That's like what the base was. Our little fireplace, and it's just like open. We just turned that into a bedroom. So that's where like my oldest sister slept.
Cool.
Makes sense.
But that still doesn't make sense. So I totally forgot. My sister shared that bedroom. My older sister wasn't really like, she was kind of in and out.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was still not enough bedrooms. So my oldest sister and second oldest sister shared that bed. And my brother-in-law would sleep between them sometimes. And it was a futon, like an old school wooden futon. Like, I don't know. It must have been so brutal.
That you guys needed a TV show, it sounds like. But
Oh, you can only imagine.
so I mean, walk us through the whole let's go through the whole playoffs, man. What's going through your mind as you guys kind of enter playoffs? Are you guys healthy? Are you feeling good? Or is it like, okay, we're ready to kind of take a run at this thing again?
Yeah, I think we weren't super excited about playing San Diego. Like, if I'm going to be completely honest, like they're a team that had injury troubles, and then we did lose to them, and then we beat them, but lost to them by a goal and beat them by like 1 or 2, like the next weekend. Um, so and then it's a one game, right? So I just think that one game like is always like nerve wracking. It's the first one. I think we knew if we could get through that, then we're like a little more confident, because then you have like a, not necessarily a throwaway game, but you at least have a chance to lose and like come back and give yourself a chance. So yeah, and we were healthy. Kluch was a little bit banged up, so he didn't play that game. Um, and then like the game just kind of goes as it was, which was crazy. Like, we score that goal with like zero point 0.7 seconds going into half, Bucky behind the net, and then we don't score in the second half, and they only get 1, and it's like this goaltending battle, but somehow we squeeze it out. Um, and then, but it's obviously like a big sigh of relief. It's like, okay, but then it's like now on to Vancouver, like who we lost to as well, like, and they're on riding this 8-game winning streak. Delves in net. But it's like, hey, at least we got a 2 out of 3. I think, like, not to be cocky, but I think like we're confident like playing any team like in a 2 out of 3 or a 3 out of 4. I think we like, again, that's why I was saying like the first game is kind of like shit. Like, anything can happen. Doesn't matter how good you are. Like, and again, you got Riggs and Ned who played amazing too, like 5-4. Like, it was crazy. Um, but then yeah, going to Van, and but I think that game also gave like our defense a lot of confidence. Like, we weren't playing the greatest like defensively going in, I don't think. And then it was kind of like, all right, this is like, what we're supposed to do. Like, this is how we're supposed to play. And then that first game at Van, we kind of continue on with it. And then when you win that first game, you're kind of in the driver's seat. So you feel good like going back to Van again, like long travel, but felt good. And then they played very well in the second game, and then like our offense kind of came back to life as well. So we take that second game, which was good, and then it's on to SAS, and then like obviously we're watching that, so we get like 2 weeks off because SAS did the 1, then 2, or we did 2 and 1, and then and we're just praying that it goes to that third game, right? Because then it's a Saturday, Sunday. We already announced we're playing Friday. It's like, hey, let's like, and then obviously that game goes away. It was, which was maybe the craziest finish of all time. Like the last 2 minutes was just mayhem, and then that play. So then I say, okay, we got Sask, and like we beat Sask earlier on this season, but it was like a 9-7 game, and just knew like know that they're stingy like on D. Like Skiggs was playing obviously goaltender of the year, like playing well, um, and then there's just like a lot of hype like on those guys, right? And then again, I'll say like again, it's gonna sound like whatever, it doesn't matter, season's over, but like the first 2 games, like, I don't think we played well, like either end. Like we squeezed out the first one, and it was 12-10, but like that 10 goals, like we just like didn't play well in the back end, and then offense kind of squeezed it out. And then we go back, and and it's kind of the same thing. Like we just didn't, like, offense was struggling. Like we played okay defensively, but just still like making mistakes. But going into that third one, I just think for whatever reason, like everyone was like, maybe it was some of like the media and stuff, but everyone kind of was like, let's fucking buck up here. Like we haven't played good, and we're still like 1-1. If we play like decently well, like again, we don't have to play a perfect game, but it's like we haven't played like a good game yet, and we're squeezing them out, and then they squeeze one out. So it's like we played good, we should be okay. And then obviously you still have to fucking put your money where your mouth is and play good. It's all fine and dandy to be like, hey, let's play good and we'll win the game, but you still have to go play good, right? But I think it was like kind of that first play that I don't know if it was the first goal by like JB, like where he just takes it to the rack, and that's kind of was like, all right, I think our offense is gonna, yeah, like I think our offense is gonna be in one here if we play well like defensively. And then we made a couple adjustments, and then the game goes as it goes. I mean, get up to a huge lead, but then they crawl back, and then obviously in the second half we shut them out, and then Vino turns back the clock for the 27th time and shows why he's the greatest of all time. And then at that point we put a couple more in, and it's just like like when you play, you kind of just see like the life kind of get sucked out of them. So it's easier playing like defensively when like they're playing from behind, they're kind of forcing it, and then and then the buzzer rings, and then it's just celebration time. But it was cool, man. Like I was saying, I think I did can't remember who I did the interview with, but it was like I think 2 minutes left when game's kind of in the bag. I think we're up whatever 14 or 15, 7 or 8. And then Vino comes over and he's like, hey man, like I'm just gonna enjoy this. Like this is great. I'm like, yeah man, it's fucking awesome. And he's like, I know our dads never met, but like they're definitely up there having a drink together. I'm like starting to tear up. I'm like, dude, shut the fuck up. Like, I said we still got 2 minutes left. I'm like, don't hit me with the emotional bombing. I'm like, yeah, I get it. I just like kind of walking away from him. And then we win, and then obviously do the embrace. So I'm like, buddy, like, what were you doing there, dude? Like, he's like, I don't know, man. I just like thought of it. I'm like, dude, I'm fucking crying in like the fucking middle of the game here.
I just blocked 2 shots to the throat while crying. Like that's not good. That can't feel good.
Speaking of that, did you see the one shot? I think it was in the first game. Took it right in the pills.
No.
Yeah, dead. Like again, I was wearing a jock, but like it was like a cross crease, and I like followed it, and I didn't even like step into it. It was churchy. You just like quick stick. There's like whoa, right in the sack. Yeah.
Were you down? Like, did it still hurt?
No,
Or you were good?
Hey, I'll never go down.
But you know what I mean. Were you down mentally?
Oh yeah, I was just like, someone pick up the ball.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Someone pick it up.
Pauly, I was going to ask about. Sorry, Danny. I was going to ask about Vino because you've you've been with him for all the championships. 2 separate three-peats by him. You were there for almost all of those. Super cool. I remember hearing McAfee talk about Adam Vinatieri, and he said like in the playoffs when the chips were down, he was kind of like a different guy. Is that kind of how it is with him, or is it kind of like the same big game, small game kind of?
Yeah, like I would say he is like he prepares like the same, which is like crazy because he's like super. I don't know if anal's the word, but this like he's like yeah, like he's got the notebook still. He's reviewing the goals. He's talking about guys dropping their shoulder, they're shooting here, they're raising their stick, they're shooting. Like he's still like dialed in regular season playoffs. I just think like in game is when like he turns into a different guy. Like um he's the same, like prepares the same, but I think like when the chips are down, you just know he's gonna come up big. And then like that second half, like there was a play where Manzi beat somebody underneath and Kreese dove, and Vino just like stood on like the short post, and Manzi came back and like hit his shoulder. Like V didn't really move, and like that's when I was like, oh fuck, like he's dialed. Like, we keep like we keep playing like we're gonna be good. But no, I would say he's just kind of more of just like the big money game. Like prepares the same, but you know, again, you win 6 championships for a reason, and I think he's been to 10. But I think it's more just in game. He's just like unreal.
Was there? I mean, I guess that's now the you've been a part of 2 3-peats for both the second wins, right?
Yeah, yeah.
What was different this time compared to the Roch journey?
Like it's like people just want to compare the two teams. I'll say like this team is like they've been to the last 5 championships. Where Roch like they went on a heater like I think they were 8-10, go on a heater in the playoffs, win that first one, which was like kind of a surprise, like not like a great team, but then they just run the table in playoffs. And then when me and Dan got traded over, like um it's like hey, they just won the championship, but I still don't know if we like thought we were like that good. But then we started winning some games and but we think we were only like 10-8 that next year. Like we still weren't like world beaters like the second year. And then we get the playoffs and it's like okay, like let's obviously let's try and win and blah blah blah. And we win. But I remember like that second one, or sorry, the first one I won, their second one. It was more like I didn't even like get to enjoy that game. It was more like relief because like you come in and like you don't really want to rock the boat. They did just win the championship, but you're still trying to like find your place on the team. I just remember winning, just being like thank God, like we did it. Like we didn't fuck. And then that third year was when like our best year. I think we were like 12-4, like 11-6, something like that. Like and then we picked up some more guys, and that's one where like we knew like hey, like we can like win this championship. We're the best team in the league, so on and so forth. And then that one, like I remember I like really got to enjoy it. Like it was icing on the cake. And then um but then like I guess then you just like fast forward 10 years later, like, at that point I only been in the league for like 6-7 years, maybe like when I first got traded to Roch. So you're still like, I'm not like maybe the vocal leader again. Like I'm not trying to like step on toes, or like we're kind of me and Dan are both like coming in, like just trying to fit in, like not rock the boat. But then like fast forward to like when I got traded to Buff, like again they were kind of struggling that second year for whatever reason, and then I guess just like you kind of being old, it's just like hey, like not trying to put your stamp on the team, but I guess you're just more confident, be like hey, like this is what I see like from the outside looking in, like what you guys are and like what we're doing, and like maybe we should like do some of this or blah blah, or just even like that was kind of like my biggest message when I came in. I was like I'm like I know we're struggling, but I'm like you guys are still like we're still the best team in the league. You just guys are just finding ways to lose, and it's just like somehow get and then so we win that, and again it was like awesome, super enjoyable. Again, like really got to enjoy the third one, and then coming into this year, like again I just think right from the get go, we were one of the, best teams in the league. And I think just like everyone's like, oh, like three-peat always we never talked about it. It's one of those things, right? Like, and not trying to be cliche, but like 3, 4, 5, 6, like it doesn't matter. You're trying to win a championship. So whether it's 7 in a row, 6 in a row, 2 in a row, like you're trying to win the championship. So you don't really think about it being a three-peat. You think about I'm trying to win. We're trying to win this year's championship, and whatever that falls in line. Like it's great that we make history as a second team to do a three-peat, but I think like we came in just like the way we ended the season. I think we came into this season just kind of knowing who we were and just playing with more confidence, if that makes sense. And then there's always some bumps along the road and here and there, but yeah. And then just again, I think it was a harder road in playoffs to win this one compared to last year, which kind of makes it sweet. And then I think just again the way the finals kind of worked out, like just with it almost seemed like everyone thought we were the underdogs. Even though this team, like you said, this team's been to the last 5 championships, just won 2 in a row. It just seemed like they were kind of counting us out, right? Like everyone kind of seemed to be on the SAS bandwagon. SAS was, they were doing their thing, and there's some, tough sound bites kicking it out there. So it's just like, you know, and I think that, again, you use whatever you can for motivation, but at the end of the day, it was kind of like, hey, fuck, we're still the champs. Like, you still got to beat the champ to be the champs, right? So I'll say this, like, I'll say to compare the two teams, like this, it's tough because you had like Cody and my brother, like obviously Dan's one of the best of all time, but like, and we had a great supporting cast in Raj. I think the defense is very similar. Obviously, like you have V and then like me, but I think it was very similar of like a bunch of blue collar guys who don't get a bunch of recognition, just kind of get the job done. But like, I think this offense group is like one of like the best offensive groups of all time. And I just think this core, like the core of Buffalo that's been there for all 5, like I just think this is like, lack of a better word, like a true dynasty. Because you've been to 5, like we won 3 in a row, then lost, and we got back there in 2017. But this team, like, you go to 5 in a row, and then you win 3 in a row. You lose 2, but win 3. It's like this is kind of like a true dynasty. But I think that this offensive group's probably, again, when you look back, it'll go down as like one of the best of all time.
It's a funny thing too, because it's like there's no sign of that group being broken up anytime soon at all.
I know that's what's again, like everyone's putting their roots down there, right? And again, it kind of goes back to like fan support and all that. Like, it makes it easier for guys to play there. Obviously, like you were in Buffalo for the workers' comp thing, and like Dane and Josh are all over. That's not crazy. Like that's not team related. Like that's people approaching them. Like they're getting deals away from the floor. Like they're on more billboards than Buffalo Sabres guys.
Yeah,
like,
more than Josh Allen.
Yeah. So again, it makes an easy place to stay and like set up roots when there's opportunities like that to make money away from the cross and kind of be the big fish in a small pond, for kind of lack of a better word. And everyone's still young too, which is crazy. Obviously, like there's a little bit of questions in the air with CBA and stuff like that, and eventually you can't give everyone max contracts. I don't know if like the Sidney Crosby and the Pittsburgh Penguin could I don't know what happens, right? Like, but with that being said, like no one really wants to leave.
Yeah. Well,
exactly. The only thing that's like, there's just, the big R word. That's the only thing that is kind of creeping into the room.
Yeah, retirement. I don't think he meant.
Oh,
I don't. I don't think he
Sorry.
meant the bad R
Yeah.
word there, Donnie.
Yeah, bad.
Like,
Well, I
what?
was thinking Pauly might block too many shots and then lose some brain power.
Yeah, well, that is also true, but that's the only that's the biggest question mark
Yeah.
is
On that note,
retirement.
Pauly, like I won't put you on the spot for next year, but how close were you last year? Did you really think about hanging him up, or never thought about it once?
No, not last year. Last year, even going into Colorado, I'm like, I want two more.
Okay.
I think just with again how everything shook down with Roch and stuff like that, I just wanted to prove that I had more. So two, which is this is year number two of that plan, was always the plan. And now it's just I'm kind of just gonna let the chips fall where they may. Again, halfway through the season, I feel good. Definitely can go again, but I'm kind of just putting the ball into other people's courts and then have this third kid see how that kind of figures out. So literally just slow play it, I guess, is essentially it. And just, we'll give it a couple months here, and then I'm sure there'll be some conversations with guys and with Chugger and the team, and then we'll kind of go from there. And then me and Dory will talk about it. But again, I feel like I could play another year.
Yeah.
And again, started working out again to train. So I'm going to be ready to play another year, and then just we'll see how it all kind of shakes down. But
See who backs up the friggin' truck to this guy's house and says, "Let's go."
well, I mean, what is all-time shot block leader? Good.
There it is. There it is.
We'll clip this, Pauly. We'll send it out to all the GMs.
Yeah.
We'll clip it.
I can't do anything else, but goddamn, I'll smash with the ball for you boys.
Yeah, that's it.
I mean, they should name they should create a shot block award and name it after you. Like, you don't even just have the most. You've basically reinvented it. Not to just glaze you here, but yeah.
But he's gonna glaze you.
No, I said not to glaze you. That means you.
Yeah, but he's going to.
Yeah, no. That's the wipe. That wipes the hard drive.
Yeah.
When I say that at the end, that means I can have said whatever I want.
I'm going to, but it's not glazing. I'm going to.
Correct. Yes.
Not
Yes.
Now
Now you guys get it.
It seems this year, obviously all the guys are a year older. It seems like a lot of the kids are of age now to be really remembering it. What was it different this year with your kids?
Yeah, Coco last year, she would have been a year and a bit, right? Year and a half, I guess. She's 2.5 now. So she's kind of just talking. Max still, he's 3 or 3 and a bit. So it's he was enjoying it. But I think this year, they're more if I put on a Buffalo Bandits, you're Daddy, that's your lacrosse team. Or if we had an off week and I'm watching it, they're that's lacrosse. Are you watching your team? I'm well, no, I'm not watching my team because I'm serious. and then again, it's hey, do you guys want to come to the game? It's yeah, we want to come to the game. So definitely kind of a little more special that, again, I don't think they'll ever remember it, but they seem to be into it, right? Which is cool. They coming to the game, they're enjoying themselves. So definitely makes it special. Again, as you get older, right? Again, who knows how many years? There's definitely not a lot of years left, but this is half the reason why you play, to kind of make these memories. The first half of your career when you're single and stuff, it's just selfishly you're winning for yourself, maybe your parents and family still, but you're kind of doing it for yourself. I want to be a winner, and then now you still selfishly want to win, but it's I want to share these memories with my kids, my wife, still with my family, but you're more giving of the winning, I guess, if that makes sense. You more want to share it with other people, where kind of the first you're I want to get that championship for myself. But so it is cool. And again, I think they, like I said, they kind of get it more now. So it's definitely fun and cool to have him around.
Part of what I kind of like been seeing in the media with this Stanley Cup playoffs is that there's been some pretty heavy offside chirping going on back and forth. What was that like for you guys in the series?
I feel like this. I feel like especially for like myself, which I've been known to. I feel like I was way worse last year. Not so much offside, but I had a couple good zingers there. Again, there is still a bunch. Sask, like, I think they're just kind of almost so robotic that they don't like really get into like that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? So like playing hard and that, but there wasn't too much chirping in that series. Van, there was a fair amount of chirping.
Were
And
you
then I
going
was
at it? Were you going at it with Beersy or what?
more Subi, and then Charlene Beatty's. Me and him seem to always lock up and have conversations as well. Wasn't too much me. It's always tough. It's more obviously OD guys. Again, me and Subi had a couple exchanges, and there was a couple invitations as well. So, but yeah, the Sask was a funny one. Like, especially because it goes like 3 games, but
Yeah.
like there is hatred. But I just think like, most of those guys, like, they kind of just go about their business. There was a little
Well, I
bit.
feel like in fairness too, Pauly, like you guys are like good at that and feed off it too. So I think it's probably like part of their game plan to try to avoid that stuff, especially in Banditland too. Like,
For
when,
sure.
when the rough stuff gets going there, I feel like, that's you guys are really comfortable.
Yeah, for sure. Like, it's better to let a sleeping dog lay than rile it up. Sure. No, you might be right, but yeah, I just feel like last year, I know, like personally, I felt like I was going at guys more. I mean, I'm sure like I was still going at guys the same amount, but yeah, nothing too offside other than maybe just like the old sucker punch to the wiener. That was probably
Yeah.
that's not really
That wasn't
sure,
great.
just a straight suck bomb to the bag. I didn't even know about that till the series was over. And
The cock punch is an absolutely ludicrous move.
It's fantastic. It's all time. Like, and that they have that clip like and caught it is unbelievable.
Oh, it's a cock punch. What an apt name for that
Yeah.
exchange. That's exactly what it was.
Yeah,
That's what happened.
And especially that, like, sometimes like you can throw it and it like lands, but the guy doesn't. But like Mess keeled over too. So it was, like, classic. Like when you bag somebody, like, oh, you got me. Like,
Yeah. Good one, buddy.
Good one, Randy. Good one.
What do you think throughout the whole playoffs? Was there like, maybe somebody that you thought, whether it was on your team or on a team that you played, that was like, oh wow, I didn't realize he was that good?
yeah, like honestly, like I think you gotta say Mickey on our team.
Yeah.
Like he played. Like, with that being said, like Mickey's an unbelievable lacrosse player, but D tranny guy. Like he would stay and play a bit last year, like, but kind of more of like, that Brody Merrill-esque. Like he'd stay and play and he'd pot maybe 1 or 2 like 5-on-5, but most of his goals were coming in tranny. And then just with like trades and whatever, like they decided to bump him up, and it was like, he loses his stepfather like to cancer, and like that first game, maybe not the first game of the season, but the first game after his stepdad passes, like he sinks 5, and it's like, okay, like that's fucking unreal, like great sports moment, like, but it's kind of like you got the weight of the world on your shoulders, but then it's like the guy just scores 2-3 goals a game, and then in the playoffs, like he wins the MVP, and I had him as the MVP. I think most people did. Like when like Dana and Josh struggled, he still had 2 and 3. Like he had 2 and 3 like every game, 2 or 3 goals, couple assists, like, and big goals. So honestly, like for a guy, I know he's mostly been D training, but to go full O and then like put up the numbers he did, I think is like super impressive.
Not to
So
glaze him. Not to glaze
Not
him.
to glaze, not to glaze.
Yeah.
I told it's so funny. Like, so obviously we had a couple late nights, and then when we did the parade, there's a handful of us like at the end of the night, and Mickey was one of them. And I'm like, obviously like half in the bag, and I'm like, and I realized I said to him, I'm like, man, you're a good player. And he's like, oh, thanks, but I'm like, how many times have I told you? He's like, a couple times. I'm like, you're pretty good.
Who were the last men standing?
I wasn't one of them. So I went a little earlier this year than last year. I think it was a 4:30. Last year it was 3:30. A couple buddies came down, and they slowly started dwindling away. There was me and my one buddy at like 3:30, and then he was calling it quits. And now it's like I had Dory like back at the hotel room sleeping, so I was like, I'm gonna call it quits. So I left at 3:30. I know Kluch was still out, Gainer was still out, so I'm gonna say those guys took her deep in the night, and then on the parade night it was me, Mickey, Belts, Ron John, a couple of young bucks, Lucas Nielsen, and so I went late. I mean 3:30 is late no matter how anyway you say, but the second after the parade is funny. The bar shut down, so we're like, okay, we gotta like keep going. I think it shut down at 3 for some reason. So we're like, okay, we're gonna go to JB's bar. Like so, Burns' father-in-law owns the Banshee, which is like near the hotel. So it's pretty cool Irish bar. So okay, we'll go to the Banshee. Like we'll get in there. Like so we haul the cup over, blah blah blah, and we like walk there. It's closed. So we're like, all right, I guess we'll just shut it down. And then so that was just after 3, but everyone shut it down together. So I was the last man standing on the parade night, I guess.
And what was this whole video clip I saw of you at a sandwich shop or something? What was that?
Oh, that was so. Dory's best buddy. I don't know if I ever told you, but I mean, the one story I got to tell you off the air, but it's Dory's best buddy. So she grew up with like this family of Greek people, and they're all kind of cousins intertwined. So this guy, Beauty, like played a little bit of football out east, and he's like tatted up, long hair like me, just like loud, boisterous. Used to own one restaurant. He's done a couple of things. So he opened up the sandwich shop. So we went to London for the day to go see Dory's friend who's moving to Italy, and then we took the kids to the Children's Museum, and then like, okay, we got to go see Zach's sandwich shop. He like just opened the sandwich shop. Seems like it's doing really good, but every time we go see this guy, we're like, hey man, like we want to pay for the food. We want to order. We want to support you. He's like, yeah. So we get there. We're like, hey man, can you make a grilled cheese for the kids? He makes this like elaborate like focaccia, like delicious grilled cheese, like off the menu. And then I'm like, Dory, just order me like, just tell Zach to like make me like the best sandwich they want, and then get whatever you want, and then maybe a thing of fries. Because these sandwiches like they're delicious, but they're so aggressive. Like just coming out. So she comes over, gives me like a Philly cheesesteak. I'm like, all right, perfect. He's like, you'll really like that. I'm like, awesome, man. 2 seconds later, another sandwich, another sandwich, thing of fries, a thing of Greek fries, another thing of Greek fries. And then he's like, yeah, you got to bite of this one. I'm like, dude, like, I'm not going to be able to drive home. I'm going to go into a coma. He's like, no, just don't. And I'm like, Dory, make sure you pay for this. I'm like, Zach, we're paying for this. He's like, no, you're not paying for me. And then all of a sudden, so we're eating. And then all of a sudden, like, he didn't tell me he was going to do that. But then, yeah, he throws so he was the girl who was on his shoulders that's the guy who owns the place. So then they just made that announcement, whatever. And there's like 9 people in the sandwich shop. And I was kind of like, so I'm like, give the wave. I was like, what the fuck is lacrosse? But
That is so funny.
it was cool. He's a beauty. He lived with me and Dory for like 3 months. Like 5-6 years ago. He lived the summer with us in Oakville. Yeah,
Nice.
he's awesome dude. But yeah, that was in London.
Was there, aside from, sorry, go, Danny.
I was just going to say, what video did you think I was talking about? Because you had a different look on your face. Right?
Oh, I thought you were going to talk about the Daner video.
Which one?
Did you not see the Dane Smith video from the parade?
Kicking the kid off the stage?
Yeah, where he throws the kid off the stage.
He like didn't see a kid. He like booted a kid
Yeah.
off stage by accident.
So again, I didn't see this either, but it's so funny because Kluch has it's a 50-50 split between Kluch and Dane. So Kluch, like, and I was just at a wedding with Kluch, and he's like I put the kid literally on a tee. I put him on the tee, and Dane threw him off the stage. So Dane's like giving his like last speech, and then they gave us a bunch of T-shirts and stuff. So people are like throwing them, and it's our trainer's son. So he was kind of behind everyone, and like, you know, he's got this T-shirt and he's excited to throw it, I guess. Because I didn't hear about this either till we got back to the room, and then I see the video. I'm like, oh my god. Anyways, so you know, he's in the back. He wants to throw. So Kluge is like, okay, hold on a sec, man. Like, here you go. Like, let's get to the front. So he's getting him to the front, like kind of pushing him, and then Dane gives a speech, and I guess he was going to chuck the bike into the stands or into the crowd, which is also a wild move, just throwing like a hard mic. So he goes to do like an underhand and like throw it, and like simultaneously Kluch puts the kid in front of Dane, and like he's not looking. And he goes to throw the mic, and it just looks like he throws it, and he does throw him off the stage.
Yeah. Danny, I just sent it to you. You gotta watch this.
My god!
So the kid, like, he landed on his feet, like he was fine, like thank God. But yeah, like, it was wild.
Wait, Paul, the kid's okay?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect news. We can leave. We could probably leave this in the podcast.
So,
He was my god, man!
So a funny thing about that is like Mac and Coco were kind of like running up and down off the stage. So I was like kind of going with them, making sure, like, 'cause all the wives were like in front of the barrier. So when it was all over, I was bringing Mac and Coco back, and I came back, and our trainer rides with his son, and his son's crying, and he comes up to me, he's like, "Hey, Pauly, does your daughter have my son's sunglasses?" And I was like, I don't know, let me go check, right? So I go over. So I'm thinking this kid's crying because my 2-year-old daughter has stolen his sunglasses. And he's like, I don't know, he's like 10 or whatever. So I'm kind of like, this is weird. So I like go over, I find Dory, and there's Coco just wearing these orange sunglasses. So I'm like, hey, those aren't yours. Like, give me those back, right? She's like, ah! I'm like, no, those aren't yours. You don't take them from people. So I go back. I'm like, here, Ryan. I'm like, I'm so sorry, dude. Like, I didn't know. He's like, no, it's fine. Don't worry. So I'm like, Jesus. I'm like, my 2-year-old daughter just bullied like a 10-year-old kid. But then we get back. So he was crying because he just fell off the stage. So I guess he was more embarrassed that he fell off because he landed on his feet essentially.
That was a long drop, man.
Yeah. It's like
I was worried, Pauly, when someone sent me the video for the first time. I was worried because if there's like it's a little bit grainy, but there's 2 little kids beside them that look in the grainy video like kind of like Coco, and I was like, oh fuck,
yeah.
I was like, oh no.
I'll send you a couple videos of Matt. Well, I posted one, but he was like up there like dancing like in front of people. Again,
That's awesome.
like that was the thing the whole time. Like they were kind of like they both came up, but then they're like going different ways, and like again the stage was high, so I'm like, fuck, like where are these kids going?
Yeah,
but
that's awesome.
so then
the mic goes flying too, like it comes in like a boomerang.
Yeah, because he was gonna chuck it. So then again, like thank God the kid, but then I felt like so bad for Dane because like Dane's, the
It was
nicest
an
guy.
accident. Yeah, it wasn't.
Yeah, but he's like the night. I'm like, dude, like, because everyone's showing me this video. I'm like, dude, how's Dane? Is Dane okay? Like, if you don't mean to throw a kid off the stage, you throw a kid off the stage. Like, you're gonna be rattled.
Yeah.
But he took like a champ again. I think because everyone was fine, Dane took it good, and then now it's like an ongoing joke that Dave's just like, hates kids and wants to like can't babysit, hates
Yeah.
kids. He's a bad person. So it worked out fine. But yeah, it was like the craziest like chain reaction of like nothing happening to a kid just getting booted off the stage. That's what I was. Sorry, that was what I thought you were talking about.
I see.
Yeah.
That's so good. Well, we're glad the kid's all right.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Is there anything else we want to touch on before I know we got a hockey game to check into here?
I think, Pauly, just like you mentioned the Vino thing, but is there any like kind of moment or conversation or something that happened maybe after the game that kind of sticks out, not from like a partying perspective, but just kind of like a reflection or meaningful perspective, and anything that kind of sticks out?
Yeah, I mean, it honestly would be that conversation that
Yeah.
I kind of alluded to before. Like, again, like when we're doing the pile up, I grabbed him, and what I said to him was like, man, it's just like, this is just I'm like, you already were, but I'm like, this is just another like cementing your legacy that you're the best of all time. I'm like, you're so good, dude. So I remember saying that to him at the end, and then just like again that little embrace during like a TV timeout where he was talking about our dads and making me cry during the game. But it was like looking back, it was super cool because again, like he lost his dad, a lot younger than I did, but both kind of had big parts in our in our lives, and the reason why he wears 48. So it was kind of cool to share like a tragedy in our lives and kind of turn into a positive, but does hit you in the feels when you're not expecting it.
Yeah, yeah.
And yeah, so yeah, I would say like those two like embraces were pretty cool for sure.
Cool.
And I think like again, I think just this year too, like even last year, but I think like not that like we were always teammates, but we would sometimes go at it like him being a super competitor, but I think like this last year, like maybe he says it too. He's like I'm calming down as I get older. He says, but I think just like we got to really enjoy like each other as teammates and friends this year, which was kind of nice and which was super cool.
That's awesome.
Man. Yeah. Again, congrats, man. It's you're talking about his career, but it's pretty wild one in your own right here. What you're putting together and to win when you're people think you should have been done, or you start moving around different teams and stuff or whatever, and it's like you're to prove that wrong and do what you did. I mean, it's and then you're getting people on Twitter pissed off because of how many shots you're blocking. That's got to be a good feeling that they're thinking about implementing new rules because of that. So
I'll say this on that. For the most part, if you look at the block shots, I'm not standing in the crease.
Yeah.
I have 2 feet out of the crease. I know sometimes I'm in there. I'm not going to say I'm never in there. I won't say that. But there's a lot of times I'm 2 feet out of the crease.
Yeah.
So, anyways, that's just my rebuttal.
Okay. It's a good rebuttal. I completely can understand that. But
And
I
you
think,
can't make a rule, because if you make a rule, then I got nothing to bring to the table.
Yeah.
So you also can't make that rule. You're going to force me to retire, because then what else am I going to do?
Yeah, and then you can claim wrongful dismissal on the NLL.
Yeah.
Big old
Put the
lawsuit.
rule in, I'll sue him.
Well, actually, you're gonna force Paul to beat somebody up.
Yeah.
And then he doesn't want to do that. Yeah.
Really take back the clocks.
Yeah, Dory made him promise not to do that anymore. So
I can imagine the tongue lash I'll get if I ever fight again.
better hope you win. Whenever
yeah.
the day comes, better hope you win.
Let the boy watch.
Let him watch.
Let the boy watch.
Well, I think that's another season recap for us, guys.
Yeah.
Again, we're going to try to – I'm sure in the summer here we'll do our standard summer break, but we're gonna kind of figure it out as a group how we want to do this thing moving forward. And we appreciate the patience with everything, especially from our sponsors in Cottage Springs and Kilo and everyone else that's been on board. It's been a learning process this last little while with all of our lives changing a little bit. But again, this is some of the most fun times of the week when we do get together, is just to kind of chat lacrosse and have some fun with it. So we appreciate everybody listening. Go get some Cottage Springs, crack them open. If you're interested in some golf, go check out that Burlington Chiefs or Burlington Blaze alumni tournament. I'm sure they're still looking for some foursomes, so head over to their Instagram there, and you can sign up. But we appreciate you guys listening, and yeah, we'll chat with you soon.
Love you guys.